YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a very good video, and I'm confident in saying it's going to be a very good video because it's one that I've been planning out and thinking about for quite some time now. Today we're gonna list the 3 players on this Celtics team that I truly think and believe are going to have a breakout season. Now, before we even get to the list and the 3 guys that I'm gonna name today, I want to make sure I'm clarifying what a breakout season is. I'm not saying, oh my god, the guy's gonna break out and, you know, go from the last guy on the bench to being the MVP of the year. No. In my mind, breakout is sort of like, hey, letting the league know who you are. Cementing yourself as a legitimate NBA player if you haven't been in the past. Or just getting to that next level and where people maybe wanted you to be or expected you to be, and finally getting right there and doing it in some like stellar fashion. So that's sort of something to keep in mind when I go through the breakout list here today, these 3 guys, and yeah, we might as well jump right into it. Before we do that, guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video. We're approaching 2,000 subscribers, so very excited to see that number pop up when we get the 2K, and I can't do that without you guys, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. And then also, before we get into the video, I gotta tell you guys, we are partnering with the NBA store, so head over to the NBA store, use the link in the description if you want to support the channel. You know, the NBA store. Head over there with the link in the description, get some officially licensed NBA merchandise. Get ready for the season. You know, we're so close to the Celtics season. Might as well go over there and get yourself a Tatum, a Brown, a Marcus Smart jersey, or maybe one of the guys I'm about to mention today. So head over there, use that link in the description. It'll be the first link in the description. All right, so I'm gonna get the I guess I'm gonna get the more obvious one out of the way here. The first name I want to bring up out of the hat here is Robert Williams. So I made a video, I guess last year, before we were even really grinding on the YouTube here. Robert Williams, the breakout player of the season, or something like that it was titled. And it kind of came true. Robert Williams did break out into an actual playable NBA player. And my whole reasoning behind it last year was, if he stops making the mistakes, you know, if he becomes a little bit more mature, he's going to do some damage in this league. And we saw that this year. So why am I able to put him on a breakout player list again? Well, I guess it's quite simply because I think he's going to break out for way different reasons. Like, we already know he stopped making the mistakes he was making. We already know that, you know, he wasn't jumping to the ceiling every time someone threw a littlest head nod or a pump fake at him. He's matured as a player, but what he really hasn't come into yet is being that dependable guy. That guy that's going to be there, whether it's in the right place at the right time or just literally be there, like on the court and healthy. Robert Williams last year just played 52 games and he only started 13 games. The Celtics are so good when Robert Williams starts, they just need him to start. They need him to play. They need him to be healthy. So that's sort of my biggest want and sort of desire to see Robert Williams go out there and do this year, because if he does that, and it's still a big if he does that, he's going to make last year's breakout look like nothing. This next year is going to be an incredibly breakout-like year for him, and everyone in the NBA world is going to know Robert Williams' name more than they do now. So if we look at some stats here, Robert Williams, 52 games played, 13 games started last year. Where I want to see him, and again, this is the big sort of breakout candidacy KPI that I'm looking at, right? I want Robert Williams to play 70 games this upcoming season. Now, that's a lot, but it's a mix of 2 things. If he doesn't get to that, you know, 68, 69, 70 mark, I don't know if this breakout wish is going to be answered. And also, they just extended him. Like, I want to see him start to go down the healthy road. So those are sort of the games played, the game started. I want to see him start most of those games. Like that, I don't really have a metric that I want to see for that. I want him to be the starting big man on this team, whether he's starting with Al Horford alongside him, whatever you want to, you know, throw him in there in whatever lineup. I just want Robert Williams to start a lot of games because the Celtics are so good when he starts. He is the type of guy that can just set the tone immediately. But next, you know, minutes played. Robert Williams played 18.9 minutes last year. That seems like it's pretty good. But if we're looking for this guy to start and be maybe our premier big man and the guy that's going to grow with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I'm going to need like 25 minutes at minimum out of Robert Williams a night. So I'm asking a lot here. 70 games played, 70 plus games played, 25 plus minutes. I'm sorry, I'm just asking for a durable big man that's going to play starter-like minutes. If Robert Williams can't do that, I don't know if he'll be able to stay on this breakout list. Like, I don't think that, you know, my prediction will be correct if he doesn't play, because we're just going to see a lot of the same from last year if he doesn't stay healthy. You know, we're going to see the same guy that when he does play, he looks amazing, but then he's going to miss a bunch of games. And we already saw that sort of breakout part of his game last year. So I'm really hoping and praying and wishing that Robert Williams can stay healthy and can prove that he's going to be worth the money in that extension, one, but two, be able to prove that he can just be the centerpiece big man for this team for years to come. In terms of points and rebounds, like, really, honestly, he averaged 8 points last year. Let's go 9 points, maybe just to elevate a little bit. 6.9 rebounds. Let's go 8 rebounds, and then blocks, 1.8 blocks. Like, why don't we go like 1.5 to 1.8? I'm not looking for those stats to change. I think they will change with more minutes played and more games played, obviously, but those aren't the ones I'm looking for. I'm looking at that games played, that game started in minutes per game. Like, that's where my eye is on Robert Williams this year. Next on the list, and this one I went back and forth on. In fact, the next two I did go back and forth on because you can't just throw around breakout player, right? But I really convinced myself that, you know what, I think both these next names, they're ready for a breakout year. Peyton Pritchard's the next name. Now, last year, you know, you'd say, oh my god, maybe he broke onto the scene last year. He obviously didn't break out, but what can we expect different from last year? Well, last year he came in, was super sort of, you know, mature for being drafted and being a rookie. Didn't really make the mistakes. He looked pro ready right away, right? He had that grit, he had that hustle, everything like that. It really earned him some minutes in games played on the court. So what possibly could make him break out? Well, I have two things, and I'm going to get into the stats of it in a second, but that first thing is just the consistency. As much as we loved Peyton Pritchard, as much as we wanted him playing more and more and more, real Celtics fans and real NBA fans and real Pritchard fans overall can admit that Peyton Pritchard would go AWOL sometimes during games, which, by the way, is completely fine. Kid's a rookie. No one expected him to do that. But now in his second year, when he already came in as a mature and pro-ready mentally sort of rookie that first year, now the second year is where I see all of that stuff going, yep, let's go out the window. We have the consistency now. We know what it takes. We're not going to disappear in games, and that's where I think these next sort of numbers that I'm going to mention come from. That sort of void that he was filling from last year now. So he played 66 games last year, started 4 games. Unlike Robert Williams, I really don't care about the games played from him. I don't care about the games started as much. Where I want to see this sort of evolution of Peyton Pritchard comes with these next few numbers. So last year he played 19 minutes played, which seems like a lot. But if this Celtics team, you know, they have Marcus Smart, Dennis Schroeder, Peyton Pritchard, their guard plays pretty damn thin. I think Peyton Pritchard's going to get a boost in minutes. So I'm looking for, you know, maybe the same range, but 19 to say 22 minutes from him. And I want to see him active and present in all 22 of those minutes. I don't want to see him, you know, out in the corner and not doing anything. He's not a rookie anymore. He's got a role in this team that needs to be filled and needs to be played out. So I'm looking for him to just be a lot more consistent within those minutes. And then if we look at the points, 7.7 points last season, I'm going to go for, you know, 8 to 9 points from him, and that shouldn't be that tough. The kid is such a good shooter. He could rack up 9 points like this that quick. So I don't think that the points are the big sort of breakout for him. This next one is it. And Peyton Pritchard, as a point guard, as a guy that we really, to the eye test, can run an offense, only averaged 1.8 assists last year, which that's a little low for me, especially if this kid's going to take even more of a point guard and offense starting role onto. So I'm looking for Peyton Pritchard, and this might be a little bit high of an ask, but I'm looking for Peyton Pritchard to get up there towards 5 assists per game. Like, I don't see it being a problem for him to play, you know, like I said, 19, 20, 21, 22 minutes. I don't see why it'd be hard for him to go for like an 8 and 5 sort of stat line throughout the season. And I think that that would be massive for the Celtics, because I already predict Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. I think there's going to be more assists to go around because they have a lot more shot makers. They can get 5 more assists out of Peyton Pritchard off the bench. Like, that's going to do some damage to other teams. So I'm really hoping he can do that, and that's where I kind of see him taking that next level leap into his game. All right, this next one is like the one that I went back and forth on. Sleepless nights. Thinking about, do I really give this guy the breakout player tag? And I decided it's time I give it to him. Grant Williams, ladies and gentlemen.
Got him! Got him!
Oh my god, are you kidding? Imagine if I believed that. Imagine if I believed Grant. Oh my god, everything I stand for would just be flushed down the toilet. Grant Williams, no, not on this list. Sorry, Grant. We will give you an honorary womp womp. Player that actually completes this list is going to be Aaron Nesmith. And this is a tough one because I don't expect Aaron Nesmith to go out there and all of a sudden be the starting 2 guard for this team and shoot the lights out like he did in college. I am giving him sort of the breakout player tag is pretty damn simple. He earned minutes last year. You know, obviously he sat for a little while, but he earned minutes last year. for doing stuff that really wasn't even in his bag. Like Aaron Nesmith, they didn't draft him as a guy that would make the hustle plays or play defense or, you know, go balls to the wall, give 100% every single minute that he's in there. That's why Aaron Nesmith earned minutes, because he was playing gritty, he was hustling, he was diving for balls, playing good defense, offensive rebounds, keeping plays alive, running the court, all that good stuff. That's why he got minutes. But they drafted him because he's a shooter. They drafted him because he's a scorer. So to me, this math equation makes total sense that, hey, he's already earned his minutes, right? Like, I think he's going to get a slight uptick in minutes this year. He only played 14 minutes a game last year. I think we're seeing probably closer to, you know, 15 to 18 out of Aaron Nesmith this year. But the fact is that, yeah, he could even play the amount of minutes that he played last year. But if this kid just can produce on the offensive side, which we've seen him do in Summer League now, we saw him doing times last year, all of a sudden he can play the same exact amount of minutes. He can play, you know, the same amount of games, 46 games played. I'd like to see that go up. 46 games played last year. If he just has a tad bit of an increase in his offensive production, we're going to be like, oh my God, this is a completely different player. Like Aaron Nesmith, 5 points a game last year. All he has to do is hit a couple more shots, and he's looking at 8 to 10 points a game. So I don't even need a change in the minutes or the games played or anything like that. The kid earned the minutes for all the right reasons last year, just not really the reasons why they drafted him. So if he can just go out there and score a couple times, I think we're looking at a staple to this bench and a kid that's really going to show some promise moving forward and kind of put his name on the map. So I'm excited, and I think if he can do that, I think it's going to be fine to classify this as a breakout year for him. Again, not an all-star year, not an MVP candidate year. Like I made that very clear at the beginning of the video, what I'm sort of classifying breakout as. But I think that if he just goes out there and does what he's supposed to do in the same minutes that he earned last year, we're going to see like this is just a brand new player that's going to have so much influence on this team. So those are the 3 guys that I have. I want to know who you guys think are going to break out this season. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you disagree with any of my names? So let me know in the comments down below. As always, guys, hit that subscribe button and like this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.